count.
It's on eight. Washington, D.C., where the Wizards are ready to engage with the Western Conference opponent here at the Verizon Center. And there's no substitute for the NBA on Wednesday morning here on 2K Sports. Now, courtesy of State Farm, Portland's starting five. Batum is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. Then there's Robin Lopez. Then it's Matthews. And for the Wizards, they've got Gortat. Trevor Ariza out there with Nene. And it's Wall.
You know, fellas, you never know what's going to happen when you cross conferences with some teams, and things didn't go so well for the Wizards against the West last season, that's for sure.
Wall with the steal. Oh, that was something else. Let's see that again on the Sprite Slam Cam.
Decided to go with a little trickery, went to the reverse. You got to love that.
We don't get to see too many of those.
No, we got to savor that one for sure.
Well, back to the Wizards. Clark, you're right. They really had some problems against the West, as you mentioned. And Steve, that's got to change.
Yeah, 7 wins in 30 total games against the Western Conference. That's the second worst interconference record in the NBA. So nowhere to go but up if you're Washington.
Here is Wall after Wesley Matthews scores from 17 feet out. That's good from Ariza on the assist by Wall. And here are the Trailblazers. Here's Lopez. Misses at the rim.
Oh, perfect opportunity to finish the break, and he blows it.
Steve, you have to be able to finish off plays like that. It's a must.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Nate McMillan. He is quite aware of the shot-blocking abilities on the other bench, but doesn't want to have his team change their game plan. He said it's okay to have a few shots turned away. If we start changing our offense or second-guessing shots, that is when their shot blockers start to be a major factor. Gentlemen?
Wonderful, Doris. Thanks for the report.
You know, that strong defense on the other side obviously has them a big concern.
Yeah, no question. And they're so good when you isolate, they're going to really close you down. So you've got to keep player movement, ball movement. Try to get that defense on the move. That's the only way you're going to get good shots against this team.
Well, you know, recently we've seen a number of undersized power forwards succeeding in the NBA, but that's not LaMarcus Aldridge. 6'11", 260 lbs. You see plenty of centers that size.
Kicks it out to Ariza. On defense, Washington. Ariza against Matthews. Outside, Batum. Clock at 6. Taken away by Nene.
Good defense there. He was just waiting for that one.
Lopez over to help. Outside, Wall. 6 to shoot. He's covered by Matthews. And it's Portland with the rebound. Going back to LaMarcus Aldridge, Steve, he really cashes in on his length. He'll pull up right over the top of his defender.
And he's got that great jump shot, that high release that makes it so difficult to guard. And then when you do get on him up tight as a defender, he can turn and go right around you and draw a foul.
Now here's Wall. He's guarded closely. Three-pointer gets it to go.
Boy, that's too easy. You cannot let a shooter that good get a warm-up jump shot like that. If you do that, it'll be raining all day from out there. Look, guys, I mean, the Blazers eliminated from the playoffs by the Dallas Mavericks in the first round last season. The Blazers had their moments in that series, though, most memorably a huge 23-point comeback in Game 4, led by the brilliance of Brandon Roy. But in the end, they just did not have enough to handle Dallas.
0. Sinks it from about 9 feet out. Here is Wall. There's a minute 40 left to play in the first. Stephen, that Portland-Dallas series, superior outside shooting the difference for the Mavs.
Yeah, I agree, Kevin. The Mavs shot 38% from the three-point line in that series. Portland just 30%. And because of the lack of shooting for the Blazers, it's much easier to defend them. You can really pack the lane and take away driving lanes.
Count the bucket. And here are the Trailblazers. 4-point game. Guys, we've seen some excellent offensive output.
Yes, sir, fellas. They've had it going on big time.
Big time is right, Clark. A lot of momentum here offensively.
Lopez, Gortat covering, and strong with the one-handed jam.
Well, that time he got a pretty clear run to the hoop.
It was Clark, and he took full advantage of it.
And not just with any old finish. I mean, that was a big-time dunk.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington.
Well, for the Blazers last season, guys, I mean, they went 48-34 overall. I mean, 2 fewer wins from the season prior, but this team has managed to remain competitive despite just a huge number of major injuries to key players. I mean, that's a credit to those players, but also to that coaching staff. Nate McMillan and his staff have done a fantastic job keeping that team really competitive.
And Robinson comes to help. Back to Gortat. Here's Maynard. And again, Washington, no good. Good thought there, Clark, when you take a look at the Blazers last year, the year before, really, with all those injuries. It's interesting, pretty comparable overall. But their home versus road.
How's that for finishing with flavor?
Absolutely fantastic.
I think he was saving that one for a special occasion.
No good there. He's unable to convert on the three-point play. Here's Washington. He dishes it to Ariza. Ariza, right side. From deep three-point range, tie game in Washington. Will be the up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. Now Porter. Here are the 5 Portland has to start the second quarter. Aldridge out there with Batum. Then it's Matthews. Then it's Robinson. Number 42. Nails it from the high post.
Even with just a little bit of room, he's going to immediately go on the attack.
Portland trailing here.
Boy, the Nuggets had problems in the playoffs versus the Thunder, but I thought Nene still maintained his seat.
And he puts it down with authority. Spike slam cam for another angle.
My goodness, he's going to do some damage with dunks like that to himself or the rim, maybe both.
Well, that's a chance he's always willing to take, Steve.
Well, I hope he does continue to take them because that was sensational.
Porter against Matthews. Porter kicks to Gortat. The Wizards need to get a shot off here. Here's Ariza. His three-pointer's off the mark. And here are the Trailblazers now. Up top, Batum. Pass to Robinson. Aldridge inside, and the rejection by Gortat. And they keep possession. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. 0. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. And the Wizards with possession. Releases. Ariza. Aldridge is covering. Shot on the wing. No luck. And the Blazers the other way.
Last year, Nate McMillan signed a 2-year extension to stay with the Blazers. Portland has had an unfortunate run of health with their players and thought about starting over with a new coach, it seemed. But I think the right move was made in keeping McMillan.
An easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, we have been accustomed to seeing the Wizards in a blue and gold scheme as their uniform turns now to red, white, and blue from their previous iterations. It matches the rest of the teams in the city that share the Verizon Center. It's appropriate that a team in the nation's capital wear red, white, and blue, guys.
Thank you, Doris. The new look has been a hit so far.
Yeah, I got to say, I love these new uniforms. Very reminiscent of those old Bullets jerseys.
Clark, more on McMillan. He's been a stable force for the franchise since he came over from Seattle. Steve, I think they need him in the worst way up in Portland right now to give him that stability.
Well, I agree, Kevin, because they've had all the injuries to the roster. They've also had front office upheaval. So in many ways, Nate McMillan represents the Blazers in that city, and he represents the stability that they need.
Fires from deep. Gets the bucket. 6 points for him.
Another open look, hits bottom from outside.
Yep, and that's 3 of their last 5 makes from beyond the arc.
Gortat covering. Aldridge dishes to Batum. He's picked up by Ariza. Batum passes to Aldridge. Gives him the lead pass. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. The Trailblazers making a switch here. Here is Wall. He's got 5. Kicks it to Ariza. He kicks it to Wall. Hammers it home.
Boy, that's a big boy's throwdown right there. I mean, how many point guards can explode to the rim like he does?
He's one of the few, no question about it.
He is not afraid to take it into the big trees, guys. He will go right in on you and go right to the body and pump it home.
They get it again with the second effort. And Lopez with the nice bucket inside.
They can't seem to stop anybody inside.
They got to know that if they don't make life tougher in the paint, the opponent is just going to keep going there. I mean, it's not like they'll get tired of all these in-close opportunities.
There's the 3. Hits the bucket.
And that's his first 3-pointer, so maybe that one will get him started.
Washington trailing. Now Wall. He has 7. It's Ariza on the wing. And Batum picks him up defensively. Ariza no luck.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard. It'll pay off for them in the end.
Here's Lopez. Rebound by the Wizards.
Yeah, no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
Back to Aldridge. And down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
He put that lead pass in perfect position for his teammate.
There's 18 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Backing down is Gortat. Number 3. And that's not going to go. We'll be back shortly live from the Verizon Center.
Thanks for joining us for HP at the Half with a terrific game going on at Verizon Center. At the midway point, the Trailblazers are playing well. Close-range shots, they're...
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Here is Wall. Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up for the second half. Taking a look at the Wizards. We've got Wall. Nene is out there with Gortat. Then it's Trevor Ariza. Backing down is Gortat. 5 on the clock. It's tipped. Stolen by Robinson.
Well, he was being overly optimistic there, thinking he could make that pass.
He passes to Matthews. Batum. Stolen away. They're working it around. From 11 feet away. And it's Portland with the rebound. Robinson's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Guys, I thought Nene had the best season of his career last year for Denver. Averaged 15 points a game, and most impressively, he shot 62% from the floor.
Here's Gortat. That's good. And so Wall with the assist. Wall's got 3 assists now in this one. Back to Matthews. 0. Covered by Wall. Outside, Batum. And the pass goes out of bounds, and they'll turn it over. And back to Nene. If that is the field goal percentage, Clark, we're going to see from him going forward, that is a big boost to his side.
Yeah, it is a huge boost. And again, it's a matter of shot selection for a guy like him. He's strong, he's fast, he finishes around the rim. If he can sustain that, that's good news for him and bad news.
Good. Wow. Tell you what, they were in full attack mode there on that fast break.
I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they got right after it.
Now here's Wall. He's covered closely. Here's Ariza. And he lays it straight in.
Kevin, too easy. I mean, the defenders were sort of looking at each other like, whose man was he? And everybody thought somebody else was going to guard him, and nobody did.
Back to Batum. Pulls it up. No luck. And Washington will go the other way. Stolen by Robinson. Powered down with both hands.
Nothing fancy for him on that jam. Just a textbook flush.
Clarkey put it away without a moment's hesitation. Here is Wall. He's got 7. And Batum picks him up defensively. Number 3. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. He's got 9.
What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores.
Portland leading. It's Matthews on the wing. Backs him down. Feeds to Robinson. Back to Matthews. 5 to shoot. Wall is whistled for reaching in. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
That's his 3rd personal.
Washington on D. Trailing by 2. Takes it up. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
You know, there's no fear out of him, guys. I mean, going straight to the hoop against a much bigger defender, he's got a lot of heart.
Wizards trail by 5. Back to Ariza. Robinson picks him up. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. We've got 1:48 left in the 3rd quarter. And it's going to be a 3-second call. Trailblazers leading by 5. Gortat against Aldridge. 0. And the Trailblazers another 3.
You know what? That was good defensive effort. But on a shooter like him, sometimes it just isn't enough.
Poked away.
Well, that's a really slick move to come up with that steal.
It's good. And it's a 10-point Trailblazer lead.
You know, it's really the kind of game you expect from him, guys. I mean, extremely efficient, taking a lot of good shots.
Matthews up top. Matthews with the steal.
So a couple of poor possessions now in a row consecutively. Both times turnovers. That's not productive basketball. That's not winning basketball.
No, and Clark, you know, you start stringing errors back-to-back together, you lose all momentum in this game.
Here's Ariza. The Wizards with another miss.
He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
And stolen by Ariza. Back to Wall. And Batum picks him up defensively. Moving the ball. Looking to end the run. Buries the jump shot. He's got 11.
He's been producing all night. It's up to the rest of his team to start kicking in a little bit.
Here's Aldridge. Blocked. Aldridge gets called for the reach. That's his first foul. Picked off in midair. 0. No good on that last second attempt there. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth. It's time for the fourth quarter and time to check in with the fourth member of our team, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark report. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin, it's the Trailblazers picking up the Sprite Spark for that stretch they put together. That offensive boom they had to start things off has carried them, and they haven't looked back since as they have made the most of their early scoring bursts.
All right, Doris, thank you. That run was a critical stretch mark of the game.
It sure was. I mean, once the pilot light was lit, they didn't let up.
Well, offensively, it all came together for them, Clark, and it really allowed them to kind of take control of the game at that point.
And he flushes it through. Sprite Slam Cam with the replay.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
Aldridge kicks to Robinson, and he finishes nicely on the layup. And the Trailblazers lead by 8.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Four on the shot clock. Pulls up on the wing. Ariza no luck.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation. Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense.
Lets the 3 fly. Ariza with another miss.
Well, he's building a house with those bricks. I mean, one reason is he keeps trying to force it up when he's defended well. Move the ball, share the sugar.
Fast break, here they come. From deep. The Wizards with another miss.
And you can sense the frustration coming from him right now. He just can't find his game.
Boy, he is missing a lot of chances, Steve. Too many.
Here's Aldridge, and it's good. Terrific work on the offensive glass to make that one work. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. Washington calls timeout.
Well, he's had enough of that lackadaisical defense. They've got to help on penetration and deny all of these points in the paint.
The Wizards making a switch here. Harrington's checked in. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Well, over the break, I listened in on what the head coach for the Wizards was getting across in their huddle. He was not at all satisfied with their effort level, saying, "We're losing the hustle plays and all the 50-50 balls. We simply can't win that way. We've got to get after it." Let's see how they respond, Kevin.
No, not the best defensive scheme, and it results in a wide-open look.
Good ball movement. Back to right. Puts the lead pass in front of them. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession. Here's Aldridge. Harrington's there. 6 on the shot clock. Tries to save it. Out of bounds. And they retain possession. Here's Williams. Clock is at 3. Number 3. That 3 off the mark. Williams against Wall. Outside Williams. From past the arc. Good. And the Trailblazers lead by 12.
I think they're trying to go for the kill here. I mean, they're starting to take a lot more three-point shots than they had been before, looking to run away.
Yeah, and that's fine as long as you're making them, but make sure you don't start launching bad shots. That's a problem.
1:51 left to play here in the fourth. Number 3, Lopez covering. Gortat misses. And stolen by Ariza. Gortat inside. Picked up by Aldridge. Launches a 3. Offensive rebound. Harrington inside. Aldridge is there. Got a piece of it.
Tell you what, they're struggling to protect the ball here. Kind of a messy second half.
And they're able to recover. Backing down is Wright. Ariza covering. Wright dishes to Aldridge. Just 5 on the clock. Shoots over Gortat. Nails it from 8 feet. Aldridge has got 6 in the quarter.
You know, they've really made the best of their chances down the middle of the lane here.
Yeah, they haven't met much resistance down in the paint, so I think you've got to continue to pound the ball down low.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know what? John Wall had a really good rookie season in terms of scoring and assisting other people, but his shooting percentage left a bit to be desired. That's an area that he needs to improve on.
Second free throw, no good. And Clark back the wall just over 40% from the floor. And almost 4 turnovers, Steve, a game as a rookie.
Yeah, he had to learn how to play through his mistakes, and I like the way Flip Saunders handled John Wall last year. I mean, he's a rookie. He's got so much ability. You don't want to thwart him and keep him down, so you allow him to make some mistakes, and then you learn from that. So I would expect those numbers to improve this season for John Wall.
Pulls it from the elbow. And another miss by Washington.
You know, you see some of the inconsistency in regards to his shooting. I mean, that last shot, I think that's preventing him from taking his game to the next level. Inconsistency on that kind of shot.
Williams can't get it to go. Releases from 15. Wall's shot is off. And here we go with Mo Williams. Right for 3. Good.